Since the earliest days of civilization, humans have searched for tools to help them understand and shape their world. Among these tools, the pendulum stands out as a simple weight on a string, yet it has held surprising power. In ancient Europe, dowsers swung pendulums above the ground, seeking hidden water or valuable minerals. They believed the slight movements of the pendulum pointed the way toward life-sustaining springs or seams of metal deep below. The art of dowsing was not just guesswork or superstition. For many communities, it was a vital skill. When wells ran dry or new settlements needed water, the dowser was called. These practitioners observed the pendulum's gentle swings and subtle shifts. The movements were interpreted as signs, thought to reflect the Earth's hidden currents or energies. Over centuries, stories spread about pendulums revealing buried treasure, lost items, or even missing people. In the Middle East, stories tell of pendulums guiding caravans to oases. In China, early records describe similar practices for finding water and minerals. The pendulum's reputation as a practical tool grew, and its mysteries remained at the heart of many cultures. Even today, in some rural areas, dowsers still walk the land with pendulum in hand. They trust in this ancient method, blending tradition with the hope of discovery. The pendulum's journey began in practicality, but it soon found new meaning in the world of spirit and mystery. As societies evolved, so did their understanding of the pendulum. In ancient Egypt, pendulums were not just tools for finding water or treasure. They became sacred objects designed for divination and spiritual insight. Priests and seers would swing pendulums over maps, scrolls, or even the sick, seeking answers from the unseen. Chinese traditions saw the pendulum as a link between the earthly and the heavenly. Early Taoist texts mention the use of suspended stones or crystals to discern the flow of energy, or qi, beneath the surface. These pendulums were also used in rituals, where their movements were seen as messages from ancestors or spirits. It was believed that the universe spoke through the pendulum's delicate dance. In medieval Europe, mystics and healers adapted the pendulum for their own purposes. They used it not only to locate missing objects, but also to diagnose illnesses or find spiritual imbalance. By observing the pendulum's swings, practitioners claimed to see beyond the material world. It became a symbol of intuition and hidden knowledge. The spiritual significance of pendulums grew alongside their practical uses. Across continents, people began to ask deeper questions. Was the pendulum moving on its own? Was it a message from the divine or simply a trick of the mind? This curiosity paved the way for the pendulum's entrance into the age of spiritualism. The 19th century brought a wave of interest in spirit communication. Spiritualists seeking contact with loved ones and guides beyond the veil embraced the pendulum as a bridge between worlds. In candlelit parlors, mediums would hold a pendulum, ask questions, and watch for answers in its movements. To spiritualists, the pendulum became much more than a tool. It was a gateway. Pendulums were used for more than just yes or no answers. Practitioners designed intricate charts, mapping out letters, numbers, or symbols. By swinging the pendulum above these charts, they believed they could spell out messages from spirit beings. For many, the pendulum's subtle swing was proof of an invisible hand at work. Spiritualists also saw the pendulum as a way to develop intuition. They taught students to quiet their minds, focus their intent, and let the pendulum reveal answers from the deeper self or from guiding spirits. The pendulum was seen as a tool for personal growth and spiritual discovery. This period marked a turning point. The pendulum shifted from a practical aid to a mystical instrument celebrated for its ability to connect the physical and spiritual. Yet, as its popularity grew, so did the questions and the skeptics. With the rise of scientific inquiry, the pendulum's mystical reputation faced scrutiny. Researchers wanted to understand why pendulums seemed to move with no clear cause. In controlled experiments, scientists observed that even when people tried to hold their hands still, the pendulum would often sway. This led to the discovery of the ideomotor effect. The ideomotor effect describes small, unconscious muscle movements that can cause objects like pendulums to move. Scientists showed that a person's expectations or beliefs could influence these tiny motions, making it appear as if the pendulum was moving on its own. In some experiments, pendulums were fixed in place and failed to move, challenging claims of supernatural influence. These findings didn't end the fascination with pendulums, but they did provoke debate. Some saw the science as proof that all pendulum movements came from the mind, not the spirit world. Others, especially spiritualists, saw things differently. They argued that the mind itself might be a channel for spiritual forces. The tension between science and spirituality remains. While science asks for proof and repeatability, spiritual seekers trust in personal experience and inner knowing. The pendulum, caught in the middle, continues to be both questioned and cherished. Spiritualists did not shy away from the scientific findings. Instead, they offered a new perspective. They agreed that the pendulum's movement involved subtle signals from the body. But for them, this was not a flaw. It was the very pathway through which spirit and intuition could speak. They compared the pendulum to other forms of spirit communication. In trance mediumship, a voice may arise from the subconscious, carrying messages from beyond. In automatic writing, a hand moves seemingly on its own, crafting words that surprise even the writer. The pendulum's dance, however small, was seen as another channel for these mysterious forces. To spiritualists, the ideomotor effect was not a debunking, but a clue. It suggested that the mind and body were more connected to the unseen world than most realized. By focusing intent and clearing the mind, practitioners believed they could become better receivers for spiritual or intuitive guidance. This view keeps the pendulum at the heart of spiritualist practice. It encourages respect for the tool and demands careful attention from the user. The pendulum, in this light, becomes a partner in the search for meaning, not just a passive object. Today, the pendulum is more versatile than ever. In some parts of the world, Dowsers still use it to search for underground water, oil, or minerals. Land surveyors and engineers sometimes turn to pendulums when old traditions meet new challenges. The practical roots of the pendulum have not disappeared. Yet the spiritual uses continue to thrive. Many people use pendulums for scrying, seeking visions or answers beyond the ordinary senses. Others use them to sense energy in places, objects, or even people, hoping to restore balance or gain insight. The pendulum has become a popular tool in holistic healing, crystal work, and alternative therapies. Decision-making is another common use. Some consult the pendulum for guidance on everyday choices, believing it helps them tap into deeper wisdom. Mediums and intuitives use it during readings to connect with guides or spirits. For some, the pendulum is a trusted friend. For others, a fascinating experiment. No matter the approach, the pendulum's legacy continues. It exists at the crossroads of science and spirit, offering answers that are sometimes practical, sometimes profound, and always personal. For those drawn to the pendulum, a few words of wisdom can make all the difference. First, approach the tool with respect. The pendulum is not just a toy. It carries centuries of tradition and the hopes of many seekers. Treat it with care and it may return insight. Intention matters. Before using a pendulum, take a moment to quiet your mind. Focus on your question or your purpose. Clear away distractions and open yourself to honest answers. The quality of your intention shapes the answers you receive. Discernment is key. Not every swing of the pendulum is a message from spirit or the universe. Sometimes it simply reflects your own hopes or fears. Observe the process, reflect on the answers, and trust your inner sense of truth. With practice, you'll learn when to rely on the pendulum and when to look deeper. Above all, see the pendulum as a bridge. It connects ancient wisdom with modern curiosity, the material world with the mysteries beyond. Used with respect and awareness, it can help you learn, grow, and find your own path through the unknown.